sold on that. It's still McCarran to me. Anyway, welcome back on Announced Broadcast. So it is, let's see, gosh, what time we got here? Well, it's 4:39, a little bit earlier than I normally do this. I thought it was later than that. Huh, it's only 4:39 in South Africa, but some of y'all will be up at 5 o'clock for the normal night owl, so let's just go ahead and get us something here. We'll start with Cyril's Big Blunder, and then hopefully we'll get a bit of an audience showing up here.
Yeah, man! Serious times down in Johannesburg. Watch the fire now! Listen! The horns! Oh, yeah! The stage was set, the lights were low for the big G20 show. Leaders coming from across the sea to talk about the world economy. Johannesburg was dressed to impress, ready to clean up the global mess. But before the first gavel could sound, a different kind of noise started going around. Now everybody talking about Cyril's big blunder.
Hey John Edmund, what's up?
In the match while we're standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. The Chilean politicians step up to the mic, spewing out words that nobody like. They open their mouths and the fire jump out, insulting America, scream and shout. They're telling tall tales, they're telling the lies, right there under the African skies. And the media catch it, they run with the ball, they amplify the noise until the whole thing falls. Talking about Cyril's big blunder, he lighting the match while we're standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. Yeah. Watch the House of Cards, they're tumbling on. Yeah, blow it down. What a mess. I looked at the president sitting up high. I see that little twinkle in his eye. He cracking that smile, that devious grin, while the diplomatic ice is getting very thin. You think the eagle gonna take that heat? Nah, sir, they won't take a seat. No Uncle Sam at your Josie party. You chase them away, you're acting too hearty. It's Cyril's big blunder, he lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. Yeah, yeah, they staying away America now come to Johannesburg today. You set the house on fire, man, what kind of plan? Cyril, wipe that smile off your face. It's a disgrace. No, sir. No, sir.
Oh yeah, Cyril's Big Blunder. Folks, can you hear me okay? Just let me know. I've got my Bluetooth on, so you should be able to hear it. If you can't hear me, let me know. All right, so how's it going there? All right, so they're normally open till midnight. I don't know if we're going to stay open. We got a few people coming in. Maybe we will, but might be kicked out here in 15 minutes. And of course, the challenge here at an airport is everywhere you go in Vegas, there's music playing. And of course, on the YouTube, that'll result in a copyright strike, even though I'm not playing. Okay, John Edmund can hear me fine. So, Goedemorgen, South Africa. What's John? Yeah. Servus tous. J'espère tout le monde est en bonne colère ce soir et ce matin en Europe et en Afrique du Sud. Ici, c'est très joli parce que c'était vraiment chaud les derniers 3 jours, mais aujourd'hui, c'était très agréable. Yeah. Anyway, welcome back, folks. It's good to see you once again. I've got some big news here. I just published a video of my interview of the director of the African Community Center here in Las Vegas. You want to see how to treat refugees right? That's the place to go, man. I'll tell you what, amazing, fantastic experience there. I spent the past, everybody's like, you're going to Vegas. Well, guys, I'm working. It's not exactly a vacation. So, I did, besides, I've been to Vegas enough times. How many times do you need to see the Strip? Besides, my hip is shot now. There's no cartilage left, so I can't walk 5 miles like I used to up and down the Strip. Anyway, but I see some of you have already watched the interview. I just got it released. Now, interest of full disclosure, like I do with some of my guests, because of the concern about, what's released, he's okay. He was happy to talk to me. We had a long conversation. He's originally from Serbia, and so, his parents immigrated here when he was a kid. He's got that Serbian accent still. And he was just gobsmacked that I knew so much about former Yugoslavia, about Serbia, and the Battle of Kosovo Plogi in 1389. He's like, whoa, Colonel, you know a lot. I said, well, yeah, it's kind of my job. Anyway, at least it was my job for decades. But I had that job because that's what I wanted to do. That was my interest in affectation. Anyway, so he said, I'm happy to do the interview, but I have to get approval from the parent organization, which he did. He contacted me, said, you can do the interview. So I showed up at 11 this morning, left the hotel from downtown. It was a jockey club, went to the place a couple miles away, and chatted for a while before I got around to the interview. And then we did about a 45-minute interview. And I hope that I frame this well for those who are aspiring refugees and those who've already arrived, who are getting abysmal service from corrupt, useless case officers. You now know, of course, I've been telling you this for the better part of a year, that's what's going on. There's some let birds loose in here. I feel like I'm in the Rainforest Cafe. Anyway, so this one really lays things out. The refugee cash assistance, Medicaid, TANF, temporary assistance for needy families, the fact that you're not eligible for food stamps anymore. Also, it shows you what a refugee agency is supposed to do, how they're supposed to help people get acclimated and settled so they don't become long-term dependent. I mean, here's nothing but success stories. They even got a guy who can't walk properly, and he wanted to work from home, so they helped him find a job working for one of the casinos that he could do from home. He needed a computer for that, so they asked people, and someone donated a brand new computer. The guy just lickety spit like that. I mean, that's dedication. That is a passion for what you're doing, not something somebody shows up, gets a paycheck, and goes home. So I think people should appreciate that. That's, a lot of refugees, most refugees are getting that kind of care and respect and treated that way across the country. But we have a number of people who are bigots and racist that have been causing all kinds of problems. And we also have a number of people that are simply fraudulent and have been getting away with this for decades. People say Nick Shirley's uncovered some fraud. Well, I've uncovered far bigger and far longer fraud that's been going in the refugee program for the last 40 years. So we'll see. Office of Refugee Resettlement, I spoke to the director a week ago Friday and talked to her about my concern about this, and she agreed. And I now have a direct link to them, and I've already sent 2 reports, a trip report from my trip to Maryland to visit refugees, and then also an update on the young man that's in Erie, Pennsylvania, that's been put in a gang-infested area with drug dealers and pimps outside his house. I've seen the photographs and the video. I've seen that his front door doesn't lock. There's no doorknob on it. His toilet door doesn't shut. There's no knob on it. He has broken glass. He has glass all over the foyer coming in. They gave him $100 for food and left him alone. He's been selling his plasma. This is not, whether you agree with refugee program or not, and I'm agnostic, it's not really what I'm here to talk about. Whether you agree with it or not, our nation welcomed these people in, whether they come from Kyrgyzstan or the DRC or Guatemala or South Africa. It really doesn't matter. It's something they got. It does not matter. The bottom line is that the promise was made to bring them here for refuge. And if you bring people here and you set them up for failure, that's not a good sign. This young man's been set up for failure. So I've intervened on his behalf with the Office of Refugee Resettlement. Hopefully something will come of that. Now, if you haven't watched the video that I just had published, now I didn't finish the story. So I told them, I said, we can do it live, but if you're uncomfortable with that, I can record it. I'll edit it. I'll upload it. It'll be unlisted. I'll share it with you, and you can share it with your headquarters and see if they're okay with it. So just a short while ago, he told me that his headquarters said that they liked the video, so I put it live. So it's out there now, and hopefully that'll help people out. So let's see. Now I've traveled at my own expense, mind you, to, well, not all of them, a couple are paid for by CNN. The shysters tried to pull their fast one on me, but I wouldn't lie for them, so I didn't wind up in their documentary. But I did get a free trip down to Birmingham, Alabama, and lodging for 2 nights paid for, but the rest of it I paid for. So been at Birmingham, Alabama, Twin Falls, Idaho, Dallas, Texas, let's see what else, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Riverdale, Maryland, Rochester, New York, and now Las Vegas, Nevada, meeting with refugees. I've now met with over 250 South African refugees in person. Nobody, not even the U.S. government, has done that. So, plus I've done the 40 plus interviews. We did an interview yesterday with a refugee who didn't want to appear on camera, but you can hear his voice. Yeah, well, it's the Rochea too, man. It's that stupid scam, the COVID scam, when I got to wear a freaking mask going into the war college and teaching, I had to wear a stupid mask, and this is the outcome of it. Idiotic. So anyway, it's always pink. Looks like an alcoholic, but I don't even drink, so it's definitely not that. Anyway, yeah, the interview went very well, and I think a lot of people are going to find it. Cannot complain. What's this, John Edmond? Oh, somebody arrived in D.C. Let me get back to that chat. Let me see who's there. Hi, Colonel. Arrived in D.C. this afternoon, staying overnight. We'll continue tomorrow morning to the destination. Oh, Alan, you're here. Haven't you been belly aching about not getting here, Alan? Haven't you been complaining a lot recently? Did I enjoy Vegas? I did enjoy the frickin' 94-degree heat, it fried me like a potato. I took the South Africans out to the Hoover Dam because I hadn't been to the Hoover Dam since 1989. And I got myself a damn hat and a damn t-shirt. Did I enjoy Vegas? Not the heat. Yeah, and the crowds are a little bit thinner than they used to be. But yeah, anyway, Alan, welcome to America. So yeah, I like Vegas. It's okay. It's it's a cup. It's not my cup of tea for living. Although I got to tell you, folks. So I've been to PXs, BXs, and naval exchanges all over the planet, in the Middle East, in Africa, not in Africa, Middle East, in the Balkans, in Europe, in the United States, and I have never gone into one that sold firearms. I walked into the Nellis Air Force Base base exchange. And they got like 100 handguns. They got rifles, shotguns. I'm like, my goodness, why can't I get this at Fort Meade? Oh, I know, because Maryland's a screwed up state. Anyway, so pretty interesting. So, all right. Yeah, I am extra crispy. I got fried out there. I told you guys that. That's why it was a short video from the top of the Hoover Dam. But anyway, where are you going to? I'm going home, John Edmond. I need to make, let's see, upcoming trips to meet with refugees will be to Ohio, go to see my sister in Ohio, and from there I'll meet some refugees in the Columbus area. From Columbus, I'll drive to Cleveland, meet with more refugees. Then it's off to Erie, where I'm going to uncover more fraud and abuse of refugees. And we're going to make, it's time to name and shame. I've been polite and respectful to these scumbags who refuse to do their job. They take money from us as taxpayers, and then they screw refugees. And what's been going on, this has been going on for decades, folks. Absolutely. And most refugees come here are coming from war-torn places where gang rapes and murders and slaughter takes place, and they flee to another country. They wait years, they finally come here, and they're terrified that they'll be sent back there because they don't understand the language, they don't understand the culture. But once again, nobody can send you back to the source you came from, no matter where you came from, Kyrgyzstan, DRC, South Africa, unless the following occurs. The underlying conditions that led to your refugee status change. Now, how many of you in South Africa think that the ANC is going to remove 145 race-based laws? I don't think so. So the underlying conditions aren't going to change, so you're not going to come back for that. If you've defrauded us, if you cheated the U.S. government by lying about your situation and misstating things, well, you can be sent back for that. If you commit a serious crime, rape, murder, pedo stuff, they could just put you in prison, which is the norm, or they could deport you for that. So that's the only way you're going back. Refugees never go home. We've accepted 2.9 million refugees in this country since 1980 under the Immigration Nationality Act, and we took plenty before that. In 1938, we took 93,000 Jews from Germany alone after Kristallnacht. So, yeah, but I'm going home. So that trip is coming up. I'm not sure when, but I may have to do it sooner than later because that young kid that's been treated like crap in Erie, something needs to be done, and nobody's taking care of it. So I've got to take a look at that. Also, a trip to Florida. I tried to book that trip, but this shysters, the airlines, wanted $1,200 for a trip to Florida when I can drive to Lancaster and get it for $89 round trip, but they weren't flying that week. So as the spring and summer comes along, there'll be more flights in Lancaster, and I'll be able to fly down at a reasonable price. Again, I'm not Bill Gates. This is all coming out of my pocket. So it wasn't exactly what I envisioned doing with my retirement check from the Army. Anyway, so Florida, New England. I'm debating about whether flying to Logan, because that's a relatively inexpensive flight, renting a car rather than driving all the way up there. Because with my hip, it becomes a bit of a headache driving the long distance. I mean, my days driving back and forth across the country are probably over. They want to put an artificial hip in, but I prefer factory installed equipment, so I'll just deal with the pain. Anyway, but yeah, so that trip is upcoming. Also Virginia, I need to get down to Richmond and see the folks down there. So those are some of the upcoming trips I'll be doing. I have to intersperse this with my consulting work at the Army War College. I've got 2 weeks of that coming up for the CJ Flick course, the Combined Joint Forces, where I train flag officers from the U.S. services and from around the world. And so that's coming up shortly. And then we've got other things coming. So anyway, that's That's in the next few weeks. I'm working on it. Yes, ma'am. Okay, it looks like we're gonna have to close up here. I got about 5 minutes, folks. Sorry about that, short nose. Then I probably won't be able to go live back in the terminal because the music's playing everywhere. But if I can't find a quiet spot, I'll do it. But this one's shutting down, unfortunately. They don't have the volunteers they need, and so this is what happens when people don't volunteer. So it's wonderful. The USO is United Service Organization. It was created around World War II to put a rest and relaxation place for soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen, and they're wonderful. But they operate off of volunteers and donations, and so if the volunteers aren't here, then they can't be open. They're scheduled from 4 o'clock in the morning till midnight, which is one of the longest. I mean, there's a few of them that stay up 24 hours, but not many. Most are only open during the daytime or during peak periods when military are traveling through. Anyway, so that's going to do it. Please go watch the other video, the interview. Give me your comments if you like. And after being so close and then having your ticket canceled on the spur of the moment was a nutcracker. All right, but you're here now, right, Alan? All right, so we'll catch you later. All right, folks, God bless. Have a good evening, and thanks for being here, and take care of yourselves. If I can broadcast outside the terminal, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'll catch you once I get back to Pennsylvania. Cheers. Be well.